The iPhone 18 Pro Max could connect directly to satellites for coverage in areas where cellular simply doesn't exist. Think about that for a second. No towers, no dead zones, just signal, hiking, traveling, rural areas, even disaster scenarios. This isn't a gimmick. It's Apple quietly redefining what coverage means, and once it works well enough, every other phone looks fragile by comparison. Now let's talk silicon because this is where the numbers start to matter. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to debut the A20 Pro chip, built on a 2 nanometer process. This is Apple's first jump below 3 nanometers, and it's a bigger deal than clock speeds or benchmarks. Smaller transistors mean more efficiency. More efficiency means better battery life, more sustained performance, and less thermal drama when you actually push the phone. And yes, smaller nodes generate more heat in theory, but remember something important. Apple already introduced vapor chamber cooling in the iPhone 17 Pro line. This is not accidental, this is setup. Which brings us to battery life, the most underrated upgrade of all time. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to be slightly thicker. And before anyone complains, remember the last time Apple did this, the iPhone 13 Pro. Everyone forgot the thickness within a week, nobody forgot the battery life. A thicker chassis means a larger battery. Combine that with a 2 nanometer chip and a custom modem, and suddenly you're not charging anxiety first. You're charging when you feel like it. And that is the kind of quality of life upgrade that never shows up in marketing slides, but absolutely shows up in daily use. Now, let's reset your attention for a second because this next part is where Apple fans and camera nerds briefly agree on something. The main camera sensor on the iPhone 18 Pro Max may no longer be Sony. Apple is reportedly working with Samsung on a new sensor, potentially stepping into much higher megapixel territory. And no, this isn't about megapixel wars, it's about light, detail, noise control. Samsung has been quietly dominating sensor innovation, and Apple tapping into that doesn't mean losing identity. It means choosing the best tool available, better low light, more accurate color science, less computational weirdness when you zoom. But Apple didn't stop there. The iPhone 18 Pro Max camera is also rumored to gain variable aperture, real physical aperture adjustment, DSLR-style light control. Bright scenes get controlled highlights. Dark scenes get more light naturally. This is one of those features that sounds boring until you see the results, and then suddenly every photo looks calmer, cleaner, and more intentional. Now sprinkle in new color options, because Apple always does this part quietly. A deep burgundy red, a soft coffee beige tone, and a lighter purple that doesn't scream 2014 nightclub. Subtle, premium, grown-up colors, the kind that sell really well 6 months later. And here's the part I want you to think about. None of these upgrades scream innovation individually, but together they tell a very clear story. Apple is removing friction, removing interruptions, removing compromises, less visual clutter, fewer dead zones, longer battery life, cameras that react to light instead of fighting it. That's why this iPhone feels different already. So now I want to hear from you. If Apple actually removes the dynamic island completely on the iPhone 18 Pro Max, is that a win, or did you secretly like it? Drop a comment, because this is one of those changes people argue about until it happens and then pretend they always wanted it. And if this breakdown helped you actually understand why these leaks matter, instead of just memorizing them, hit like. It helps more than you think. And it tells the algorithm this is the kind of tech content worth pushing. If you want more deep dive Apple coverage like this, comparisons, leaks, and real world explanations without the hype fog, subscribe and stay locked in. The next video you should watch is already on screen because it connects directly to where Apple is going next. And remember this line, because it's going to age very well. Apple doesn't rush features. They wait until they can remove something entirely. See you next video. Peace out. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be the first iPhone that actually feels like Apple skipped a generation and then came back slightly unhinged, because one of these leaks doesn't just upgrade the phone, it deletes a part of it. And if it's real, it quietly confirms what Apple has been planning for almost a decade. So yes, today we're talking about the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks, including the underscreen Face ID system, Apple's custom modem, satellite connectivity, a 2nm A20 Pro chip, and a camera upgrade that might finally make Android fans stop smirking in comments. But the part that matters most isn't what changed, it's what disappeared. Now, before anyone panics, let's lock this in clearly. This video is your complete breakdown of the biggest iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks, confirmed so far, what's real, what's realistic, and what actually changes how the phone feels day to day. No hype fog, no leak salad, just the stuff that actually moves the needle. Because here's the thing no one tells you. Apple doesn't leak features randomly. They leak direction, and once you see the pattern here, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the one that made people zoom into screenshots like it was the Zapruder film. Apple is finally moving Face ID completely under the display. Not partially, not disguised, gone. The dynamic island, the thing we all pretended was kind of useful actually, is on the chopping block. And the irony is incredible because Apple spent years convincing us it was a feature, only to quietly design its own exit strategy. The leak suggests that all Face ID sensors are now under the screen, with just a small front camera cutout shifted toward the top left corner. And if you've ever watched a movie, scrolled TikTok, or tried to enjoy content without a floating black pill judging you, this makes immediate sense. It's not about novelty, it's about the screen finally being a screen again. But here's where it gets interesting. Apple doesn't do under-display tech until it's boring. That's their rule. If they're doing this in the iPhone 18 Pro Max, it means reliability is already solved, which quietly implies something bigger is coming next. Now, while everyone is staring at the display, Apple is doing something way more important under the hood. The iPhone 18 Pro models are expected to ditch Qualcomm for a fully custom Apple communication modem, not just cellular, networking, connectivity, the entire pipeline. This matters more than people realize because Apple controlling the modem isn't about speed tests. It's about control, battery efficiency, latency, and features that only work when hardware and software are designed together. The same playbook they used with Apple Silicon, now applied to how your phone talks to the world. And that leads directly into the feature that sounds fake until you realize Apple has been hinting at it for years. Satellite connectivity for full communication, not just emergency texts.